text from the Hebrew scriptures this week is the famous story of Jacob's ladder. Jacob falls asleep in the wilderness and dreams of a ladder with heavenly beings, angels, running up and down it. And then he hears God speak and offer him a promise of lasting life. When he wakes in the morning, he says, "Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place." And he goes on, just astounded by how amazing everything is, to say, this place is awesome. This is the house of God, the very gate of heaven. Now, those of us who have stood on a mountaintop in Kentucky or West Virginia, say, and looked over the beauty before us, we may have found ourselves saying something similar. Wow, this place is awesome. And those of us who have met the people of that region, who have great faith and wisdom and hope and joy, even if they have very little advantage. Maybe they even lack running water or a roof over their head that doesn't leak. We may have said to ourselves, we have just encountered God, or at the very least, angels. Grandview has been going on Appalachia Service Project trips for about 3 decades now. In fact, this is the first year we won't have youth there, of course, because of COVID. We are sending our youth instead this week to do similar work in Lancaster, making homes here warmer, safer, and drier, while sending a donation so that the ASP staff can continue the vital work in that region. Each year on the Sunday that our youth or adults return from ASP, they share about their experiences, and those experiences are full of encounters with the sacred. But the impact of ASP is far greater even than that. Grandview's had 2 young people go on to spend the entire summer working there on staff, Walz and Katherine Fraile. And for many of our students, the experience has shaped them, made them more compassionate people. Some have chosen careers in advocating for the poor in rural, suburban, and urban areas. And we're so grateful for all the ways that this experience has changed lives in lasting ways. So that's what the stories you'll hear today are about. Listen, and maybe you'll find yourself saying, surely God is present with me right here. Amen.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning, Grandview friends. My name is Pastor Liz, and I'll be sharing with you today's announcements. So today and August 2nd, we are hosting a time of prayer in Grandview Sanctuary called Praying for the World, which will be by reservation only for very small groups or individuals to come. Now, all the reservations for this afternoon have been taken up, but August 2nd still has a few remaining time slots available. So if you are looking to be engaged in a time of prayer back in Grandview Sanctuary, of course, following appropriate distancing guidelines and mask wearing, go to our church website and find the Sign Up Genius link to reserve time for you or you and your immediate household to come and be a part of this meaningful prayer time. We are continuing our series of conversations on anti-racism, and the next one is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th at 7 p.m. with Reverend Hannah Adair Bonner. We are thrilled to have Hannah speaking with us. You might recall hearing her preach last summer after annual conference. She is a really terrific preacher and has a lot of experience working for racial justice. So she'll be speaking with us about usefulness, how to be useful in anti-racism work. If you would like to be a part of that call, send me an email so that I can send you the Zoom information. Kate Byler-Toner is hard at work putting together Camp Grandview mini sessions for August 10th through the 13th, and she is looking for some adult and youth volunteers in particular. So if you are able and wanting to connect in this ministry, please send Kate a message. And if you want to register your child to be a part of one of these sessions, you can do so by going to our church website and filling out the online form, or by picking up a paper copy in the flyer boxes just outside Grandview's front doors. And finally, mark your calendar for Sunday, August 9th for the Grand Pandemic Race, which is a scavenger hunt that is being designed as we speak by George Swank and Kate Byler-Toner. More information to come on that, but we want to make sure you keep that evening free to engage in some fun outdoor activities. As always, for the most up-to-date information and announcements, check out our website. And if you want to receive the e-alert or the messenger, send me an email so I can make sure to add you to those mailing lists.
One of the really unique and great opportunities of Grandview Church is the opportunity to participate in the Appalachian Service Project.
ASP started at Grandview in 1990 with Reverend Russell Atkinson. When Russell moved to a different church around 1995, I took over coordinating the youth ASP.
Today I will be reflecting on my ASP experiences over the course of the past 3 years.
In 2005, Dena Ament approached me and asked if I would be interested in being part of an adult mission trip to Appalachia to make homes warmer, safer, and drier. I had just recently retired, and I thought this was an excellent opportunity for me to push myself into doing something a little different and working with some people in the church and feeling that community of faith.
I served on the ASP staff in Mingo County, West Virginia in the summer of 2003. I had previously attended 2 different summer trips with Grandview, really had great experiences.
Sacrificing 1 week out of 52 weeks of the year in order to help people whose lives are different than ours and need support is really important. And it might be a small act, but this small act is making a big difference in the lives of many people in Central Appalachia. It's not only helping the homeowners, but it's also helping the community, and that's really an important takeaway and concept that's important to understand with ASP.
So I've seen it from 3 different perspectives: as a group leader of the youth and crew leaders, as a group leader of adults, which we started in 2005, and always as a participant.
Last year was my first year going to ASP. I was a rising freshman.
I was fortunate enough to attend the Appalachian Service Project twice, 2012 and 2014.
Tell us generally about your experience with ASP. Oh man. Honestly, the word awesome just comes to mind. There's no other experience like it for like a preteen or teenager.
ASP is one of the most special weeks of my life. I never thought it would be because I was actually really nervous before I signed up. I didn't know what to expect.
I do remember being really, really nervous for the week and just for like the work we were doing because I wasn't like experienced with any of that, like that area of stuff.
ASP for me was a great learning and educational experience. Not only did I further educate myself into the world of repairing houses, but the poverty and oppression facing our country.
Sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true.
ASP's motto is making homes warmer, safer, and drier. And there really are no better words to describe it than that.
ASP is not even remotely able to serve all of the poverty that is in Appalachia. We had far more applicants than we ever could have served, and we had to decide as 20-somethings who was going to get help and who wasn't. And they were really tough decisions that we had to make in about a week's time. After a week in the county, our volunteers started to arrive, and it was 10 straight weeks of new volunteers coming on Sundays and leaving on Saturday morning. Every week, every day from when volunteers would arrive until they would leave, we would work from 6:30 in the morning till about 11:30 at night. It was a relentless job, and it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences for as hard as you had to work.
It isn't a mission trip, it's a service trip. You're going and you're serving and you're helping people, and you're doing things for individuals that don't have a lot.
It was hard work, and part of that hard work involved digging a ditch, which I learned in my coming years with Appalachia that every time you go, you are probably going to be digging a ditch or a hole. And usually when you dig a hole, you put cement in the hole. And so those things are really pretty hard work, but you do it together.
I remember I started out with doing roofs in like this small little crew in Jonesville, Virginia. And then we transitioned the next couple years with siding, decking, and then going into bathrooms and working on drainage ditches, and like just all these like different experiences like just really brought me like a better experience and like taught me how to be resourceful.
In my years with Youth ASP, I was blown away by the group who left on a Saturday, the teens and adults, and the deeply changed group who returned the following Saturday.
Apart from you, there is no God whose care is for all people. Your strength is the source of justice, and your sovereignty over all causes you to be merciful to all. For you show your strength when people doubt the completeness of your power, and you rebuke any false pride among those who think they've got you pegged. Although you are sovereign in strength, you judge with mildness, and with great forbearance you govern us, for you have power to act whenever you choose. By acting this way, you have taught your people that the just must be kind, and you have filled your children with good hope, because you give repentance for sins.
One misconception that I think that is common about ASP is that ASP is a home repair ministry, when in fact ASP is a relational ministry. It is not just about fixing houses, it is about creating connections.
Some days, helping these people doesn't mean like climbing up on a hot tin roof. It means like sitting down and having a conversation with mom who's having a hard time, or playing with the kids in the yard so mom can have a break, or like what have you. It doesn't always mean like just like hammering some nails and like, you know, putting up some drywall, though God knows you do a lot of that as well.
Some of the biggest takeaways for me were definitely meeting the other youth in the center we stayed at, because I grew really good friendships with some of the people, and I'm still in contact with them, and I wouldn't have met those fellow teenagers without ASP.
I built so many relationships over ASP. Our crew had a semi-long drive to our work site, and the whole time we played the card game Bowl. And by lunchtime, we'd also clear out the back of the van and eat our PB&Js and play bowl. It was so much fun. That week my crew became like my second family. It was so great. And the people we helped also taught me so much. It was such a cool experience.
I'd say that these relationships are more than just like actual friendships, they're more family. And it's actually interesting that my wife and we got married just over 3 years ago, and many of these people that I worked on crews with, I invited to my wedding. And like they were just people that I knew as like more than just friends. The family bonds that I built were those sorts of connections that only ASP can truly provide.
Do you ever truly know someone until you sleep next to them in a hot gym, or, divided by like a makeshift trash bag curtain? Do you? I don't know.
Now, over the course of 3 years, I've made many relationships with various homeowners, and these relationships are very meaningful to me and express the importance of making and building relationships, even short-term relationships, because these types of relationships will last a lifetime in our memories. And also, ASP has helped me to develop closer relationships with our own Grandview group. And these relationships are also very meaningful to me, as I've built a stronger connection with the people at our church, and it is helping me to also build a better connection with God as well. And it's just a great opportunity to make more relationships and to experience what other people are experiencing.
For many of our teen volunteers, it was their first time experiencing true poverty. And Appalachia is a hurting area, especially in the early 2000s. Coal was just starting to wane in West Virginia, and a lot of people were left high and dry by the coal industry, and it was really striking to watch volunteers' relationships with homeowners grow.
It has exposed me to like so many new places where, you've never been there before. You're probably never going to go back there again. And it's always beautiful. There's always such interesting people, such a very interesting culture that I think is so important to expose yourself to, especially when you're a teenager.
As for the memories, I remember going to like the smallest little mom and pop small business shops in like the smallest parts of the Appalachian region. I remember like culture nights that we would always have, of being able to learn about the history behind the town.
Learning about the nature, some of the culture of Central Appalachia. One year we had cheesecakes on a stick, and that was a kind of local tradition in McGoffin County, I believe. And just learning about how these people live and the unique aspects of the communities is really meaningful to me. And it opens my eyes up to how diverse this world is and how we need to celebrate the differences that we hold.
Crazy thing is that the people who are helping, they are the most humble and kind people I've ever met. And that just amazes me, because they have so much less than we do, but they're just so humble. And every time our homeowner Keith would go to the store and we were at his house, he would ask us, "Do you guys need anything?" Or he said that he feeds his dogs before he feeds himself. And yeah, I will always remember that and try to be like him and be humble in that way that's just so effortless and selfless.
And one of the years that we went to, I believe it was Avery County, North Carolina, we went to this ice cream parlor, and they had this stage that we actually, Grandview was invited up to go sing Wagon Wheel with the band there. And it was one of those moments where like people afterwards were coming up and like saying thank you to us so much. and just like started having that genuine conversation. And it was absolutely amazing that like just for like being able to sing a song during like a culture night of just being able to go out and get ice cream, like we could have such a big impact.
What you come away with, just an understanding of what people deal with and how our problems are minimum compared to some people. I mean, some of these families go to bed every single night not knowing if their house is going to collapse in the middle of the night. They go into the wintertime not knowing if their pipes are going to make it through the winter.
The families who often pitched in and taught us things about building had something to offer. They served us meals, wonderful meals, from their meager cupboards. They brought us joy through the dance and music and the art of their area. And the Grandview teens and adults were amazed by the building skills they learned. Some offered sign language, some offered a sense of humor and song. Some were willing to take on any task with gusto. Some offered a deep spiritual perspective that made our God moments even more meaningful. I have so many warm memories and emotional memories from ASP, from strumming a guitar and singing with our group and an amazing banjo player whose home we were repairing. I remember evening group discussions that broadened my path to grace and understanding. I remember wanting to bring Ellie home with me. She had lived such a difficult life, and I couldn't fathom the lonely, cold winter she was going to endure in those beautiful, rugged mountains. I remember going as a group into a coal mine where many had died and contracted lung disease, working there because there were no other options.
Seeing a different world has really, really, really led me to like think differently about people whose lives are different than mine, or people who are struggling, and it's no longer just taken at face value, but it's like, what are they going through? What is it that I can do to help them? You know?
How has ASP shaped my life? Well, it's given me many good friendships and trust and confidence in what I can do as an individual. And I came away with a belief that one person can make a difference, even though it seems daunting. That one-on-one connection with another human being is very, very important.
Some of the things that have stayed with me from ASP, I know will be with me for the rest of my life. Whether they are having to be brave while you're climbing under a house to inspect the foundation and scared to death of snakes, or whether you are loading truckloads of gravel at the gravel yard, or whether you're going to a trash dump for the first time. You don't forget these things easily. But just as much as those work things stay with me, the things that stay with me were some of the experiences in nature of driving country roads, of experiencing creeks during summertime floods, and even going to the local bowling alley in Mingo. Those experiences will stay with me forever.
ASP has certainly made me a more caring person. Now, I know this seems kind of like a general answer, but truly, ASP has shown me and taught me the value of compassion and the value of support.
ASP has taught me to be more outgoing, more giving, and genuinely more at peace.
I think my three greatest takeaways include craftsmanship, taking people as they are, where they are, which is like a main standard of ASP, and the power of listening, and how have these shaped me into the person I am today. As a current homeowner, I've used a lot of these skills that I've learned on ASP to be able to repair my own home, or be able to help others repair their own home as well. The faithful rule of measure twice, cut once, I still live by, or at least try to live by on a daily basis. And furthermore, I really loved the second lesson of being able to take people as they are, where they are. As a current teacher, teaching high school math for Baltimore County Public Schools, I have a diverse range of students that Like, I take these students as they are, where they are, and know that they have different experiences than me. And I first got part of this lesson through ASP.
I've gone on ASP trips with youth and adults for more than 15 years. I feel immensely blessed by the relationships and friendships of fellow Grandview travelers. I can't even express in words the depth of gratitude for all they have taught me about God's enduring, mystifying, and gracious love throughout the years. We are woven together in a tight tapestry of shared experiences and love.
3 words that name a difference that ASP has made in my life would be ASP has made me more humble, selfless, like aware of how much I have and how much others don't, and how like grateful I need to be for that, and how important it is to help those who don't have as much as you.
The trip to ASP helped enhance my relationship with others, youth, and staff. ASP has made me more aware, grateful, and skillful.
I'm a social worker now, and it's no secret that Grandview has greatly shaped my life and sort of like helped me understand like what my calling is to help other people, and I think a lot of that had to do with ASP as well.
Certainly one of the ones that I think of nearly every day is that when I sing to my kids to go to bed at night, they live on a steady stream of ASP songs. So whether it is Lean on Me, or Peace Like a River, or Amazing Grace, or Country Roads Take Me Home, or Rocky Top, pretty much every night ends with ASP songs.
It's just such a bizarre experience that is not natural to a lot of us, and yet it becomes more natural, and it suddenly becomes something that you look forward to. The Ansel cookies, the endless hours of like D&D or playlists or what have you, and you know, the ice cream and the events and the picnic and all that good stuff. Like, you look forward to that, and it's just an experience like no other. And I hope sincerely that ASP is something that is as important to future youths as it was to me and like my friends and my crew growing up, because certainly like those are memories that I hold very dear and like I will never forget.
Probably looking back on it, it was the most humbling experience that I've experienced in my life, and it strengthened my faith and it brought me closer to God. And I thank the church for all that they did in their monetary support of Appalachia Service Project. It truly is a game changer for anybody who goes. I can't imagine that you can go and not be different. You just have to be different. So I leave it at that. Thank you, Grandview.
For me, like if I had to wrap this all up of knowing how ASP makes things warmer, safer, drier, I could pull an old Ken Weber and just be able to say, ASP, great showers, okay food, the service, great. I could pull one of those, but I think for me to bring it on home, ASP has definitely made me a better listener, a critical thinker, and definitely a reflective leader.
ASP has made me more aware that we are all God's people. Every one of us has needs and strengths. ASP gives hope. ASP has given me a clarity of God's work on earth. ASP has taught me the healing joy of sharing with my hands and my heart.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Friends, Surely the Lord is in this place, in your place and in my place, in our place. This week, from where you are, look around. What can you make warmer? It might be a specific place, or it may be a relationship that needs an added embrace. And what can you make safer? Maybe you can help cultivate a space where silenced voices are heard and respected. And what can you make drier? Where do you see tears, and how can you be part of the healing of the nations? Surely the Lord is in this place and in your place. Go in peace, knowing that you are loved and beloved.